searches higher in Google, higher in Bing, higher in Yahoo. And that's about content on your site. It's about getting people to your site, adding credibility to your site using what they call backlinks, things like that. So there's a myriad of different strategies that should form part of your marketing budget or your marketing strategy to get people to your site. Another element there is AdWords. Google AdWords is a good place to get some instant traffic to your site as well. So based on obviously what you're prepared to spend on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis or whatever, based around pay-per-click type scenarios, then obviously AdWords does work. Google does make billions of dollars, so people do click on those ads. So it's well worth having that as part of your marketing strategy around getting people to your site as well. Social media is probably a new one for business, more so than any other sort of option there. But some sites do have large presences, particularly on Facebook. It does depend on the industry, but it is a good way to do somewhat of a one-to-one marketing type situation where you virtually are talking to one particular customer, or at least putting your opinion out there. And you do have sometimes the negative option there, where some people can comment and have a negative comment and also affect your reputation. But there's an opportunity to make that better again as well. So that forum is quite open, but so there's advantages and disadvantages, but it can be used to your advantage mostly if you aim to strive to have the best service and so forth. So social media is a big one. And then there's traditional marketing, right? We all know about that. How do we get people to our site? We can advertise it obviously as we typically do, whether that be on billboards or whatever you like. There's all that traditional stuff out there, which I'm sure you're all well aware of. And then there's incentives. So, especially in the B2B space, in the wholesale space, we have a number of customers who provide incentives out to their customers to come to their site. So that might be a discount. It might be an across-the-board discount. If you put your orders through our website, we'll give you a 2% discount or something like that. So there's a good reason, because obviously there's some efficiencies to be gained in your business, some costs to come down. You can maybe pass some of those back on to your customers to get them to your site and use the site. So all those different things, hopefully get your traffic happening on your store. Number 4, you've done all that hard work. You've got your design, you've got your products up there, you've advertised your site, you've got all these people coming through, they're hopefully buying from you, but you need to track that and monitor that. And how do you do that? Google Analytics is a fantastic tool that you can embed those sort of links in your site, the analytics site, and then you get some really nice reporting out of Google that will allow you to monitor some of the traffic on the site and what it's doing. Conversion rates, that's what I talked about before. So this is a percentage of visitors that are actually buying off your site, which is what you want. You want the highest conversion rate you can get, and some of those strategies that we talked about before in terms of site optimization will hopefully get you those higher percentages. Traffic sources, so you want to understand maybe where your visitors are coming from, and what's important for them. It's good to know where you're getting your visitors from, so it's like traditional marketing where you understand where your customers are coming from. That sort of stuff needs to be monitored as well. Unique visitors, obviously you want unique visitors as much as you can get. That's new business for you. The higher the better on those as well. A nice statistic to keep in mind. Bounce rate is obviously something that you want to keep as low as possible, and that's really for people who are coming to your site, not doing anything and just shooting off somewhere else. Okay, and that comes back into that site optimization side of things. So making it attractive for them to stay, making it easier for them to find information quicker. That'll obviously make that bounce rate a lot lower if they're staying on the site and doing something after the first page. And just geographical type information. So again, like unique visitors, understanding exactly where your customers are coming from, what state maybe, what country if it's an international type site, gives you a better picture in terms of your audience and where they're coming from and what you can do obviously to enhance that, further down the track. So a couple of things there that you can look at just to measure, how good or how bad your site's doing, and that includes things like obviously the products that aren't selling on your site. Why have them up there if they're not selling? Replace them with a product that hopefully might sell, which is that next one. What we're all about is efficiency, and this is the number 5 point, I suppose, in terms of what we want to sort of talk about today. Our our core competency, like I said before, is really about integration, and that's making the site sort of cost effective, reducing that maintenance cost down from a physical point of view. In other words, employees having to maintain sites and so forth. So we integrate to your accounting system, to your inventory system, and the whole idea is it takes a couple of transaction processes out of people's hands and reduces that cost down from a maintenance point of view. It avoids duplication, right? So we're not having to maintain two databases. I don't have my inventory database sitting over here with my stock items and then have to plug those into the back-end database of my website. You start to get duplication errors. Your pricing might be wrong in different areas. Something gets neglected. You've got so much room for error there if you're having to do that in two places. Try and drive the data from one place. So again, this is just all about efficiencies. Again, you're not having to maintain things in two places. It's all driven from one place. Usually most people spend half their day, or if not all of their day, in their accounting system. So why not keep it there, drive your site from there. And the other opportunity is to continue to offer more customer services at that level. So in other words, not just allow them to buy, but also maybe provide some information back to them, like their invoices and their statements. Some of the information around outstanding orders they might have or back orders they might have, things like that. So it keeps more people on, or brings more people to the site. They use the site more often. It becomes a major interface or a portal to your business, and hopefully again creates the efficiencies because people don't have to necessarily pick up the phone or email a statement out or email an invoice out. There's another avenue for people to get this, and they can get it after hours as well. They don't have to wait for you to open the next day so they can get a copy of a statement. They can jump on the site at 8 o'clock at night after dinner and get what they need. Which leads us, just as a nice little segue into what we do, give you an idea of what's possible around the website integration side of things. So our whole thing, I guess I mentioned earlier, but it's really taking the two transactions out of the piece. One is getting your products up to the website, and that includes obviously stock codes and descriptions and pricing, all of that standard stock attribute stuff. How do you get that to the web? Web Ninja does that for you. So we look at your accounting application on an automated basis. You can indicate in your accounting application what product should appear on the website with a tick box or a little Y or something like that against the product, and that'll shoot up to the website. It includes your category type information, so your navigation in terms of your trees, your images, all that standard stock integration stuff, including things like customer special pricing. If you do have a B2B site, we can push that up there so they get to see their price versus the standard RRP price, say, for instance. The other side of the coin is obviously what happens when someone places an order on the site. Well, what we do is we bring that back down as a sales order and put that automatically in your accounting system as well. Okay, so we're taking away the two keying aspects of the transaction, the pain in terms of maintaining two databases. We take that away and make the site really efficient. And again, you're just driving it from one place. So, the cost of maybe someone doing that can pay for a website pretty quickly. So there's a little bit of a list here in terms of the stuff that we do as out-of-the-box integration. That's also on those brochures that you've got there as well. So have a read through those when you can. I want to just briefly show you a couple of sites that we've done so you get an idea of just look and feels as well as the integration and what that's done for a particular business. Dan, I might just get you to run this. This is my beautiful assistant, Dan. Much older version of myself. Dan's just going to flip over to a web browser here, and we'll just go and have a look at this site. So just to give you an example of who this person is, who this customer is, these guys sell or are the prime distributors for ProTech helmets. So they do skate helmets, bike helmets, snow, all that sort of stuff, and they're a distributor. So they import the product, they've got the license in Australia to do this, and then they sell out to retail stores. Okay, so their customers are retail stores. So it's anyone from a mum and dad skate shop in a small town on the coast somewhere to City Beach and all those sort of major retailers as well. What they used to do was they used to set up a spreadsheet each month, and that spreadsheet had embedded photos in it of their products. It had all the pricing relative to that particular retailer, had all the products there as well, and they used to email that out every month. Okay, and it was an order form, basically an order form. Had all the colour, size and styles of the helmets that they did, all laid out beautifully, but someone took days to put that together every month. And then Mr. Retailer or Mrs. Retailer would get that on their email, print it out, populate the numbers, or populate it in Excel, save it, shoot it back, and that could take days, and then someone would get it back at Abyss and key that into a sales order into their accounting system. What we did